Welcome to another FiveStones Google Marketing Platform feature highlight video, this time dedicated to rule-based custom bidding in DV360. In this session, we'll explore how advertisers can use custom bidding to optimize bidding logic based on real business goals by teaching Google's AI which impressions deliver the most value. We'll start with a quick overview of how custom bidding works, and then walk through a use case showing how to set up a rule-based custom bidding model step by step. By the end, you'll see how advertisers can activate a tailored bidding strategy within just a few clicks. Before we look at how rule-based custom bidding works, let's take a quick step back to the automated bidding strategies we usually rely on in DV360. Automated bidding in DV360 is designed to optimize toward a single objective. For example, viewable impressions, completed views, or conversions. This approach works well when there's one clear KPI. But as advertising goals evolve, many brands find that focusing on just one objective no longer reflects the full picture of user engagement or business value. But in reality, many advertisers face a more complex situation than optimizing for a single KPI. You might wonder, how do I optimize awareness using multiple quality signals? For example, video completion, genre, or device, to make sure my ads reach the most valuable audiences? How can I help DV360 understand which impressions deliver the highest attention value, instead of treating all impressions equally? How do I guide the system when different conversion actions reflect different levels of intent across the customer journey? And how can I assign weighted scores to these conversion actions so the system learns faster and ultimately drives more purchases? These are exactly the kinds of challenges custom bidding was built to solve. So how does it work? Custom bidding empowers you to teach Google's AI what truly matters to your business. By combining your own marketing insights with Google's machine learning, you can design a bidding model that reflects your unique business priorities. What most advertisers are familiar with are automated bidding strategies that make yes or no decisions. An impression either meets the goal or it doesn't. But rule-based custom bidding takes this idea a step further. Instead of giving every impression a simple pass or fail, it assigns a score based on how closely each one matches your defined goals. For example, an impression where a user watches the ad to completion, spends more time on site, or views a large creative might earn a higher score. Through this scoring process, the model learns what value looks like and starts recognizing which impressions truly contribute to your goals. Let's look at an example. We're working with Active Sports brand on their biggest launch of the year. For this launch, Active Sports will run a two-phase full funnel campaign, and custom bidding will play an important role in both stages. In Phase 1, the goal is to build high-impact awareness. In Phase 2, the focus shifts toward driving conversions from high-intent users. Based on past results and market research, we know that audiences watching sports or action content on CTV tend to engage more deeply with video ads. For Phase 1 campaign, we will use this insight designed a custom bidding strategy that prioritizes the most valuable awareness signals. We assign higher scores to impressions when the user completes the video, when the content they're watching is sports or action related, and when the ad is shown on large screen devices like CTV. Now, let's walk through how to set up this custom bidding model in DV360 for our Phase 1 campaign. We'll start in the advertiser view. First, navigate to the Resources menu on the left. And from there, select Custom Bidding. Click New Algorithm to get started. And give our bidding strategy a name, Active Sports, Quality Awareness. Next, we need to choose our bidding objective. This is an important step, as your choice here determines which signals are available to build your rules. All objectives support rule-based bidding, which is what we'll be using today. It's a fast and easy way to create a powerful algorithm without needing to code. For those who need more advanced control, DV360 also offers a script-based option, which allows you to write fully customized logic. For Phase 1 campaign, we will create a brand awareness objective custom bidding. After selecting the objective and use Add Rule option under the Settings section, we select Video Completed as one of our rule. Set it equals True, and give it a score of 5. This is the foundation of our strategy. We're telling DV360 that a completed video view is our primary goal, so any impression that results in a completed view will automatically earn a base score of 5. Then, you will see a More Settings section, where you can tell the algorithm how to calculate the scores. By default, DV360 adds all the scores together, but you can also set it to use the maximum score instead. For our campaign, the default, add scores together, setting is perfect, so we'll keep it as is. Then we'll add multipliers to refine our algorithm. This allows us to prioritize impressions based on where and how an ad is shown. DV360 supports up to 4 multipliers. For this campaign, we'll use genre and device type. In genre, click Select Filters. Add sports and action and adventure films. Click Apply. And set the score to 5. Next, for device type, we'll choose Connected TV and Set-Top Box, also giving them a score of 5. These higher scores tell the model that impressions meeting these conditions are more valuable for our awareness objective. Once all settings are done, click Next. DV360 automatically runs a test on our new algorithm. What it's doing is checking our rules against the advertiser's historical data to see if the algorithm can be trained effectively. In our case, the status shows green with likely to meet requirements. This means the test has found enough historical data, and the algorithm is ready to be activated in the campaign. However, if instead you see a warning that says, unlikely to meet minimum model requirements, that means there isn't enough historical data yet. The algorithm won't perform effectively until more data has been collected. You can still save the algorithm, let the campaign run, and once the system has enough data, it will identify the algorithm as ready. Since our algorithm meets requirements, we can click Save. Click Close and move on to the final step. Now that the custom bidding algorithm has been created, let's go to apply it in a campaign. Click into the Pre-Set Up campaign. Inside the Insertion Order settings, we can see that the custom bidding option is now available in the optimization section. Remember, this option only appears after we've built and linked our algorithm at the advertiser level. Here, we'll select Maximize Custom Value/Cost. And then open the Bid Strategy drop-down. From the list, we can choose the algorithm we just created, Active Sport, Quality Awareness. Then we can continue with the usual steps to complete the campaign setup. Once everything is saved, this line item will begin bidding using our unique, custom logic to identify and win the most valuable impressions for our awareness campaign. Now, for Phase 2 campaign, our goal is to drive conversions from high-intent users. The customer journey starts when a user views the ad. Next, if the user visits the landing page, that indicates deeper engagement and stronger intent. Moving further down the funnel, adding a product to cart is an even stronger sign of purchase intention. Then comes initiating payment, where intent becomes very close to conversion. Finally, completing the payment represents the ultimate conversion. Normally, advertisers are only able to drive a limited number of complete payment conversions at the beginning of the campaign, which affects the machine learning if we use auto bid strategy with complete payment as the goal. With custom bid strategy, we can include early steps in the conversion journey, which guides the machine to lead more audience to the conversion journey starting from early steps. And different weighted scores will be assigned to each step in the conversion journey based on their importance. Usually the earliest step gets the lowest score, and complete payment gets the highest. With this setup, the bid machine would try to get more complete payment while leading more audiences to the journey. We'll start by creating a new algorithm. This time, our objective is focused on driving conversions. First, we'll click Add Rule. You'll see options for floodlight activities or GA4 key events. It's important to note you can only use one type per algorithm. For this strategy, we'll use floodlight. Our first rule will be for a landing page visit. This is the top of our funnel, a signal of initial interest, then click Apply. Next we need to set the score. For conversion rules, the score acts as a weight for this conversion, and you have the flexibility here to define how conversions are measured by choosing a counting method, and even which specific conversion types to include in your calculation. For this case, we keep using the default total conversions counting method. And since a landing page visit is just the first step, we give it our lowest score, 0.5 points. Next, we follow the customer journey, add our add to cart floodlight. This shows more intent, so we increase the score to 1 point. Following that, a user reaching the payment page is a very strong signal. We assign it a higher score of 2 points. And finally, the most important action, completed purchase and land on thank you page. We assign it with our highest score of 5 points. This weighting system teaches the algorithm exactly which actions we value most. In the More settings, you'll find an option for the conversion attribution model. This simply tells the algorithm which touchpoint in the journey to give credit to. We'll keep the default floodlight attribution model to stay consistent with our tracking. With all our rules in place, we can click Next to test the algorithm. Like in Phase 1, we have a green status, which means the algorithm is validated and ready to be saved. Once all done, the new conversion-focused algorithm can be applied to our Phase 2 campaign. Now that we've walked through the UI, let's shift to the foundation behind it. Before building a custom bidding model, there are a few key requirements and best practices that ensure the model can learn effectively and deliver stable performance. Let's take a look at what needs to be in place. First, the data thresholds required for an algorithm to train effectively. At the advertiser level, the system reviews data from the past 30 days. For a rule-based custom bidding model, the minimum requirement is 10,000 or more total scored impressions and at least 500 positively scored impressions. This ensures the model has enough data to evaluate impressions and identify valuable signals for learning. At the line item level, each line item should have at least 50 positively scored impressions to optimize properly. One thing to note, when using Google Analytics events as goals. Since Google Analytics attribution is primarily based on ad clicks, the algorithm needs sufficient click data to learn and build its model. Consequently, if your campaign strategy isn't designed to generate clicks, a floodlight-based goal is the better choice. So you might be wondering what a scored impression or positively scored impression actually means. Let's break this down using this visual. First, all impressions include every ad impression from the past 30 days that's used to test the model. Within that, total scored impressions are the impressions the algorithm can evaluate, meaning there's enough data for the system to calculate a score, whether that score is 0 or positive. And finally, positively scored impressions are the subset with a score greater than 0. These are impressions the model identifies as valuable and relevant to the campaign goal. What this shows us is that the model doesn't learn from every impression. It filters impressions step by step, first by data availability and then by value. When the test results meet the requirements, it tells us the model has enough meaningful data to learn from and optimize effectively. After walking through the technical setup, let's step back and look at a few strategic best practices to consider before you begin. The first and most important is that less is more. While custom bidding allows you to add many rules, adding too many signals can blur the focus of your strategy and make it harder for the algorithm to understand what truly matters. As this image illustrates, when everything is treated as important, nothing really stands out. The result is a diluted signal and less effective optimization. The best approach is to clearly define what a quality impression looks like for your campaign, and focus on the few signals that matter most. Our second best practice is to make sure your scores clearly reflect the importance of each stage in the marketing funnel. Scores are how you communicate priorities to the model. They tell the system which actions matter more to your business. In this example, you can simply look at the right-hand side. Actions closer to the bottom of the funnel are assigned higher scores, while upper funnel signals receive lower ones. This progression helps the model understand how value increases as users move from awareness toward purchase, and use that structure to guide optimization. And our final best practice is to give the algorithm time to learn. Custom bidding needs enough impressions to recognize patterns and adapt to your scoring logic. Whenever you make a major change, the model has to relearn, which often leads to a short-term performance dip. That's why frequent changes should be avoided. Treat each major adjustment as a new test, and allow sufficient time for the model to stabilize. In practice, a weekly or bi-weekly review cadence works best. This is the end of this rule-based custom bidding walkthrough. We hope this session gives you a clearer understanding of how to design bidding logic that aligns with your business outcomes and how easily it can be activated in DV360. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your FiveStones Customer Success Manager. You can also contact our support team anytime at support@fivestones.net.